Hello and welcome to a brand new preview episode for Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah,
Hey,
Terrence,
what's up?
and Tiara.
Hey.
All right, guys, we are back. This is a preview for episode 267, The Kitchen. I'll read the log line here. In a dystopian future, London, where all social housing has been eliminated, Izi and Benji fight to navigate a world as residents of The Kitchen, a community that refuses to abandon their home. You can watch this on Netflix. Incidentally, this was co-written by Daniel Kaluuya and co-directed by him as well. So it's getting some pretty good reviews that I've seen. So check out The Kitchen. We'll talk about it in full next week. Again, you can watch it on Netflix. The random topic this week is, why are Black people charged with saving the world in the minds of white people and other people around the world? It's very bizarre. And what I mean by that is there has been topics coming up with the whole war in Gaza, about how Black people need to be voting a certain way, as sort of pro-Palestinian supporters seem to be on social media talking about this, and like very specifically Black people, not anybody else, but just very specifically us. And also that kind of runs into some other aspects in politics, like white people begging Michelle Obama to run, which made no sense whatsoever. So we're going to talk about that. Tiara, you brought this topic up, so I'll let you start and your thoughts on this.
Yeah. And I tried to ignore it because it was on my timeline like every day for most of like the last week or so. But there's some people on TikTok and Twitter who are on some Black people need to not vote for Kamala Harris because the Biden-Harris administration is arming Israel and is not, quote unquote, not calling for a ceasefire to stop the genocide in Gaza. And some people had the nerve to throw around the term colonizers when describing Black Americans. And I know we'll get into how that doesn't make any sense, but then some Black people, especially older Black people, also responded to some of these people and said, like, there is a level of nuance that they're missing in that, like, we have to make sure that the immediate danger of Donald Trump is handled first before, we ever consider what the Democrats are doing, namely like Kamala Harris and what she'll do in Gaza. And what's so interesting, what I found so interesting is that a lot of Black folks they're not disagreeing that the genocide is horrible. We obviously know that. But it's like this tone that's being talked to Black people about how we need to fix the issue and how we need to put our own safety and rights in danger by allowing a Trump presidency to, quote unquote, show the Democrats that we are not going to be, I guess, pawns or whatever. I take issue with a lot of, I'm trying to wear this without sounding like an asshole about it, but using Black people to further your cause while also being anti-Black in the process and not understanding the kind of nuance that we have to live through and consider in this country. There is no perfect answer to or perfect way of handling the situation that's happening in Gaza. Obviously, it's to have a ceasefire, have a stop, but having Trump in the White House is an immediate danger to everybody, including the people who you claim to support. And also, Black people are not your mules. Like, we're not people that you can just lean on and call into action when you're not always also not there for us as well, and you can't really talk down to us when you're looking for that kind of support.
Yeah, look, I agree with you. I think it's a bizarre situation, right? This idea that Black people should be thoroughly ignored and not accepted in so many avenues. But then when you need help, it's not just that we should help you. We got to take the lead. Like, we got to sacrifice ourselves in order to make sure that you're okay. Now, I say all that to say nobody on this panel thinks that the genocide is okay, right? And we all four of us acknowledge that it is in fact a genocide, right? It's unacceptable. However, while it is unacceptable, I shouldn't say however, and life is a bit more complicated than I disagree with this thing and that's the end of the story. It just simply doesn't work like that. Would I love to be able to say that I'm against the genocide and Democrats are 100% in the exact right on all issues surrounding this, and then I could easily, choose them and be morally perfect? Sure. But that's not the world in which I live in. I don't get to argue based on my headcanon. I get to base my views on reality. And the reality is you have one candidate who is far more moderate on the Gaza issue, and she's also, by the way, to the left of her current boss on the issue, right? Versus a person who quite literally said, I will let Israel finish the job, which means raze Gaza to the ground. And his son-in-law said that, basically intimated that, hey, we can have a bunch of, waterfront properties after we get rid of all of this. That's who is on the other side. Yeah, Jared Kushner said that. Yeah. if you
Jesus Christ.
I'll find the exact quote.
Did he say, I bet we could have a bunch of waterfront properties.
Your voice is way too deep for Jared Kushner.
Yeah, you can't. It's more, in fairness, I think it's more my wheelhouse, if we're being honest.
Tara's got my joke. Tara's got my reference.
I got it. He's a fucking piece of shit. But nobody who is correct thinking believes that the genocide is okay, right? And so this idea that you can either be for ending the genocide or just do nothing is a terrible argument. And to me, it's an argument largely made by people who are actually not affected by it, right?
Look,
and that's the thing that really kind of pisses me off.
So here's the thing. A lot of this is entitlement. A lot of it is white people thinking, oh, well, I supported black people when George Floyd was murdered, so now you have to do this for me, right? Yeah. And that's not how being a human being works, right? You can't just go tit for tat, tit for tat. Yes, we all agree this is wrong. You also have to play the long game, right? You can't just see the forest. You can't miss the forest through the trees, right? Like, what are your options? Your options are a megalomaniac, or a reasonable person, or do nothing. Two of those options will guarantee you, one of those options will guarantee you nothing. The other option is guaranteed to give you the opposite of what you want. And then the third option might get you what you want. You have to stop being, these people are acting petulant.
Yeah.
They're just acting petulant. If you don't do what I want, I'm not going to vote for you. Or look, I get it. But now is not the time for that. The time to be an asshole and to be petulant is after you elect the person that is going to help you, that is probably going to do the most to help you. Like, let's say Kamala Harris wins. Then you act like a fucking petulant child. Yes. And scream and protest and do what you have to do to get her to do what you want her to do.
Right.
But like a lot of people don't understand that. People think I voted for you, so now you do what I say and I get what I want. And that's not. I don't know if it's just because people are young. I don't know. I hear it from young people a lot, but I do hear it from older people. And this doesn't work like that.
Go ahead. There's a very simple reason why people believe that. It's a very simple reason. Because people talk about campaign promises. They're not promises. They're goals, right? When you say, I'm going to do this thing, people go, you promised that. But they're not kings, and they don't get to just unilaterally make decisions. You shouldn't call them promises. They're campaign goals. If I have a Congress and I have all of the things that work together, then I can get to my goal. But if you say it's a promise, then people go, you said that, and then you failed on it. So you lied to me. And they take it very personal. But they're not campaign promises. That's not a thing. It's just not a thing. Unless you're talking about a thing that the president can do unilaterally, stop calling them campaign promises. It is a dangerous way to describe them because you start to fill your head with the idea that that person is lying to you. They're not lying to you, bro. Like, you said you were going to do this. Bitch, I didn't have a Congress to do that. Well, I'm not going to listen to that. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You didn't give me the Congress.
Right.
Like, you voted for me, and you just sat your ass home for the next 4 years and did nothing else.
Right.
That's how this works. Like, you have to vote for me, and then you have to vote so I can get the Congress that I can actually do the work. Because if it's me, and then like a fucking 75% Republican Congress, what the fuck do you think I'm going to be able to get done? What do you think I'm going to get done?
A lot of nothing.
Nothing. And that's what happens. But back to the actual topic at hand. I need to know what it means that we're colonizers. if we don't like defend the war, like if we don't protest the war in Gaza, if us as niggas don't protest the war in Gaza, because I don't understand that. I don't understand that phrase. I don't get it. What does that mean? I didn't colonize it.
That we have the mindset of colonizers. I don't know what that makes us make, because it doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. No.
Do niggas want to go over there?
Right. What are you talking about?
Look, man. Again, this is fucking. I don't want to be mistaken. Look, they kind of dark. I don't want to be mistaken for one of them if I go over there.
Trying to get
That's
shot.
a fucked up. But like, I'm trying to get shot. The fuck. Come on.
You know.
Man. I get it.
So
Just saying
Michael,
they have me.
Yeah.
Michael Harriot wrote in the Griot about this, and I just pulled it up. And I feel like he uses the term conditional allyship that Black Americans have had to face for years. And this is exactly what it feels like, because he wrote, some Black people are alleged that pro-Palestinians are willing to fearmonger and threaten Black people with a potential Trump presidency that would erase much of the racial progress that protects African Americans. And he poses the question, why do Black people have to care about everyone while expecting everyone to not care about anyone but themselves? It then brings up how white feminists have done this when it came to voting rights, and reproductive rights. And it does feel, it feels just like that. They say, like, I'm going to do everything I can. Like, he's quotes someone in here saying, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure, and I quote, that bitch doesn't win. That's a way to describe the first potentially Black woman president. But also, my question is always, okay, she doesn't win, Trump wins, and then what?
They never have an answer.
Then what?
That's
what you did. If you're protesting the war in Gaza and you don't vote for her because she's not saying what you want her to say, and then Trump gets into office, you've literally doomed them.
Yeah,
that's what you've done.
I mean, and this is the thing that drives me crazy is you have got to stop thinking, to Micah's point, like, you're thinking 2 minutes ahead of yourself. That's it. Like, in these arguments, so much like ink has been spilled, and, you know, time on the internet has been wasted with people who are in this, you know, the pro-Palestinian, you know, side. And I mean that from the perspective of, these are the people, like, this is their one issue, right? We're all here saying we are in support of the Palestinian people and the horrible shit they're going through, right? But I'm talking about these people very specifically. They waste so much time pretending that Donald Trump is not a valid part of this conversation. Oh, I'm talking about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. Bitch, there is a looming lunatic behind you, and you're refusing to ignore it because it's inconvenient to your narrative. If you take an honest look at it and go, well, they're both the same. They're not the same. They're just simply not the same. Nobody who is making an honest effort to have a real conversation about this can say that the two parties have the same exact view on this issue. You know how I know? Because they've interviewed actual Palestinians about it. And they're like, please don't pick Trump. But you have white kids in America telling black people that they better do the right thing. Bitch, they don't agree with you. They're over there. Like, yo, I'm dodging bullets all day, but you telling me what to believe? That's insanity.
And Kamala Harris has also called for a ceasefire, by the way.
Yes.
And so they keep saying like she called for a ceasefire, like she has done that. But like calling for it doesn't mean that it's going to happen when there is another party that will not adhere to that.
So, but okay, so right, what is she supposed to do? She's a vice president, right? But by the way, the current president also calling for a ceasefire, also calling for one, and it was just reported. I think it's like PBS NewsHour just reported yesterday. Donald Trump is on the phone talking to Benjamin Netanyahu, telling him to not do the ceasefire because it would be good for Joe Biden.
Wow.
Breaking, by the way, violating the Logan Act. You can look that one up for people who don't know, right? It's basically from 1799. Hey, you're not allowed to negotiate with a foreign entity if you're not authorized to do that.
Yeah, and he's not the fucking president.
Right, he's a private citizen. In case there's some conservatives who think a former president can do that. No, the fuck they can't. Please shut the fuck up. Don't even write that. Okay? So he's out there trying to stop the ceasefire. Again, please stop pretending he is not a factor. He is a major factor in this. So he's trying to stop it, not because he's got some ideological view, just for his own fucking personal interest. Well, I don't want them to win, so keep killing Palestinians. So now what? Now what? The fuck, man? It's insane.
I've never seen people like this is so weird to see people like literally try to cut off their nose to spite their face. Like, what is your end game?
They don't have one.
I need somebody to articulate what the end game is. We're gonna knock the legs off of this table. Well, then nobody gets to eat.
Yeah, but nobody was eating. Nobody's been eating. Okay. What's your solution?
Then we don't get to eat, and the neighbors across the pond, they're dead.
Yeah. Like they're literally fucking with people's lives.
Yes.
Because it doesn't. They're like, free Palestine.
But my question is, why do they feel so comfortable coming at Black people about this? Like, what is it about Black people where they feel so comfortable talking down us like that?
One, it's entitlement, right? Because like white people, no matter how good they are, no matter how well-meaning they are, a lot of them are still just like white people at heart, right? Like, hey, nigga, I put up that black square. Okay. Like, I acknowledged that the killing of Black people is wrong, but now you owe me, because that's what being a human being is now. You can't just care about multiple things at the same time. Like, no, it's always a fucking tit for tat. Like, that's not how life works. No, life is not transactional like that. At least it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And that's their one issue that is not fucking like, that's over there. I mean, yes, it's, again, we all acknowledge it's fucked up, but that literally has nothing to do with like abortion issues in the States. You know, it has nothing to do.
I mean, but when you bring that up, right? That's actually a perfect point. You're telling me I don't give a shit about Palestinians because I'm voting for somebody who I think is a much more, not that I think, that I know is a much more moderate person on the topic, that is a better person to help you. You're not voting. Why doesn't that say, because they would make the argument that it shows that I don't care about the genocide in Palestine. But somehow the reverse is not true. You not voting or not giving a shit or voting for Republicans or whatever it is, whatever the fuck logic you use, right? It's mostly just not voting or voting for Jill Stein. How is the reverse not true that I can't say that you don't give a shit about civil rights inside the United States for minorities, or immigration, or immigrant rights, or women's rights, or trans rights, or gay folks' rights. Why is that not acceptable? Because to me, if you're making the argument that I don't give a shit about the Palestinian genocide, I would make the exact same argument going the other way, that you don't give a shit about any of the things that are happening inside your own country, which is bizarre to me. You don't get to have this moral high ground. Fuck you. I'm going to vote for Jill Stein. Jill Stein isn't going to win. This is a simple matter of math, my nigga. Like, that's it. It's not that fucking hard. She's not going to win. She's not on every ballot. Who you going to vote for? Cornel West? You think he's going to win?
He couldn't even get the notary right to be
on
a ballot in like Arizona or whatever.
Right. You know who tried to help him?
And let's say
Republicans. Yep.
Let's say that by some miracle, Jill Stein is elected president.
I got an answer for this one.
There's still a couple other branches of government that will not work with her, yo. I don't
know how government works.
Like that's the whole point of the three branches, so that not one branch can't, so that we don't have a king. Like that's the whole point.
All right, look, I'm gonna make it even worse. All right, you're absolutely right. Let me make it worse about the Jill Stein thing for all the people who suggest Jill Stein or Cornel West. Let me show you how dumb you are. Hey, do you remember the first time Donald Trump got impeached? Anybody remember that one? Right? Because he got impeached twice. Fucking loser. He got impeached because he did what? Because he decided that he was going to hold up money to send to Ukraine. The reason that was an impeachable offense is because Congress had already allocated the money to send to Ukraine, right? You as the president are not allowed to just go, I don't give a shit what Congress does. I'm just going to break the law and not give Ukraine the money because he was trying to get them to make some bullshit thing about Joe Biden, right? So he was impeached for that because that is outside of the purview of the president. So if a president say again?
That was the perfect phone call.
Yeah, the perfect phone call, right. Mm-hmm. So if a Jill Stein or Cornel West or any other, or RFK Jr., God forbid, any of those guys, what a joke. Any of those guys were elected by some miracle to the presidency, Congress is still going to vote to give aid and acceptance to Israel, right? Sending weapons of war to Israel. Jill Stein, as president, could not ignore that and just not send weapons, because that's not how government works. And I say that very specifically, one, to prove how dumb you are on that fucking issue. And two, you don't know how government works. Stop making these bullshit 4 inches from your face arguments. Go read, my nigga. Go read. So this idea that we'll just put in Jill Stein and that'll stop it. No, it wouldn't. Then you just be mad at Jill Stein. Yeah. Bernie Sanders. You could exhume the corpse of Mr. Rogers, and if he was president, he'd still have to fucking authorize sending weapons to Israel. It wouldn't matter. So unless you're talking about a full-scale removal of Congress and putting in all these people that are ideologically mirrored to you, that's not going to fix anything. So what do? You vote for the person who's going to get you as close to it's going to get you to the fucking playoffs, right? That's as close as you're going to get. They may not get you to a championship, but they get you to the fucking playoffs. That's what you do. Politics is not fucking zero-sum game. It's just simply not.
It makes me think of like something else too. But Black people have always had to, in a way, kind of
do it. That's why they do it. That's why they do it, because we've always had to. I'm sorry to cut you off. We literally have a history of having to overcome the worst type of adversity in the history of humankind.
Yep.
Yes, but I was going to add, like, when it came, like, even when it comes to like, things like civil rights, it's always inclusive of other groups. It was never just us. Mm-hmm. It's all inclusive of other groups. And I think it was either you, Michael, or Jay, or Terrence said this, like, it feels like when other groups, whether it's white people or other people of color, have something that impacts them, it feels like, okay, Black folks, you owe us. but it doesn't. But it feels like you said, entitlement, as if we're like indebted them for something, but it never feels like it goes in our direction. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. It never does. It never does. Like affirmative action, white people talk about affirmative action like it was affirmative action for black people.
Right.
The number one group that took advantage of affirmative action were, ding, 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 white women.
Right.
We fought for that, and white women put their Gucci booted foot over the fence of oppression and took advantage of it. I'm not even mad at them for doing that because it's there to help people who are disadvantaged. Right. But when the argument came to preserve it, white women were like, let me alligator arm this shit like, can't reach it. Sorry, guess it's got to die. After they've already gotten in. There was no help to pull people up. None.
It also reminds me of like when we had when there was a Oscar So Black and John Leguizamo went on like a rant on Twitter talking about like how come Oscar So Black doesn't include like Hispanic or Latino representation, and it felt more like black people, why don't you include us? And it's like, of course it's inclusive of you as well, but we all know when it comes to inclusivity, the group that will get shit on the most, it's always black people. Yes. It's always black people. So whenever we can do something to help us, like it ends up helping everyone else. And also, by the way, you can be black and something else. You can be black and Latino. You can be black and Asian. You can be black and Southeast Asian, as we see with Kamala Harris. So by the nature of how black people have had to organize for years now, for decades now, it has always been not just for the benefit for not just us, but other people always benefit as well. I just don't like this whole they talk down to black people as if we're
niggas.
I mean,
exactly. Exactly.
So, look, exactly. Some words are just really accurate.
I really didn't. I didn't know that it was Oscar So White. It should only be black and fuck the Latinos.
Or Oscar So White.
I didn't know that was the hashtag.
Right.
Yeah, Oscar So White. Yeah, that's what I meant. Oscar So White. But
I mean, look, no pun intended. But black people, when it comes to knocking down, racism and oppression in America, we are the tip of the spear, right? Like,
okay.
Look, I'm just saying.
Look, they don't like us either.
Yeah, they don't.
They don't like us.
Like, whoa. That's our thing. You guys don't work enough. Like, we got it. We need more jobs. But we are always at the front of the fucking train. And we are the ones that look, the civil rights movement helped a lot of people who weren't black. Make no fucking mistake about that. Right. Mm-hmm. So this idea that we are supposed to be at the front and like knocking down this oppression. Look, I understand where the thought process comes from, but I would push back and say, we're fucking tired. We're tired of carrying the world into some level of progress. Y'all do it for a while. For a while. Right?
Hey, look, just invite these things to the cookout. Stop doing that shit. We too inviting. That's the problem.
we are.
Gatekeep.
Yeah, well, sometimes you got to gatekeep. But look, you can see it. Look, the Oscar So White thing, right? Which was a bit of a watershed moment, but it did it helped help some people coming the next year and everything else. Good for them, right? And it was very diverse. It wasn't all black, but we were the ones who pushed for that, right? You see, East Asian folks are getting a push in Hollywood big time over the last couple of years. You're welcome. That's from us pushing. And then they were able to keep moving. I'm not mad at East Asian folks for finally getting a chance. Now, if a bunch of East Asian actors were like, black people, we need you to do this other thing for us, because, we put up a square on the internet. Nah, fuck off.
No.
Because I'm not asking for repayment for, I'm not like that. Like, well, we helped y'all because look at y'all getting a run now. Like, now you owe us something. No.
Right.
Progress helps everybody. Everybody who's being oppressed, progress helps everybody. So if we're pushing forward and you behind us and you pushing too, good. You get through, we get through. All right, good. But this idea that once you get through, we now owe you something. No, we fucking do not. No, that's bullshit. It's bullshit.
And threatening our very lives and our rights with a potential dictator who has a very real chance of winning. And I know the vibes are great, but he can still win.
Yeah,
that is on a whole level of gross and disgusting that I can't really.
I mean, what's the term you use? Conditional allyship. Yeah, that's a perfect example of that. Oh well, we'll sick this dictator on you, bitch. You think he gonna just deal with us?
You in it too.
Yeah.
Y'all out here shouting at Kamala Harris at her rally, even though she met with y'all right beforehand. But understand that if she's elected, you will still be able to do that and be on her ass about this conflict. If Trump and the Republicans get in, y'all aren't going to be anywhere to be found.
Yeah. Yo, he said that he would. He said that he would deport people who were pro-Palestinian protesters. Yo, he didn't say that they were Palestinian, my nigga. He said pro-Palestinian protesters. Oh, you from Detroit? I don't give a fuck. Get out. Where are you sending?
Guess what?
I don't know.
Yeah, white. We black. We've had our fucking turmoils. We'll be fine. We can get through this shit. Y'all might lose your goddamn mind.
Soft.
Y'all ain't built for this.
Soft.
You're not built for turmoil. Like the fuck.
No, you're not. Not for generational turmoil. They're not. They're not.
Yeah.
So the idea that we are supposed to help you in this, I'm not talking about should we be allies with you. Yes, of course.
Yes.
The argument should be black people, please, for the love of God, don't be like these MAGA black people who are out of their fucking minds. Vote for someone who is trying to help the world. That's a valid argument. I need y'all to not vote? No, my nigga. Our ancestors have literally died trying to get this.
Did they die? Did they die? They voted for. They died for me to not vote. Shut up, nigga.
Yeah, that's that line. Bro, you already couldn't vote. Or as I saw a video of like some black MAGA guy was like, all the things that LBJ, promised. Again, promise. It's a terrible choice. Yeah. That was. Are you saying we're better off now than we were back then? And the guy was interviewing. He was black. He was like, yeah. He's like, how? We can vote. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, what are you talking about? Are you saying that's bad? Well, I'm not saying that's bad. Then what are you talking about? Like, is your brain exposed under that red hat? Like, what is wrong with you? Hey, come on, man. Knock it off.
Yeah, like you said, you don't know how government works. I want to touch on that Don Lemon segment real quick. A lot of people don't know how government works because a lot of people said they were voting for in Chicago where the DNC is happening. They said they were going to be voting for Trump, and they were like, he's like, well, why? He's like, well, my gas didn't cost as much and my food didn't cost as much. I'm like, well, he didn't. I don't know if he explained to them why all of that shit is the case, but like what you have to understand is the policies of the previous government roll over into the government that you get when you vote for the next president. So Trump was the president, right? COVID happened. That fucked a lot of stuff up. But prior to that, the gas was kind of high. Like your gas became incredibly high. And like we still have to get past his policies. The policies that were put into place have dropped the price of gas and food now lately. But it takes time for things to happen, right?
Yep.
It takes time. Like you're just not going to get what you want in a month or in a year. It takes time for things to roll back. But when I think when Trump came in, everything was pretty decent, right? And he just managed not to fuck everything up, right? He just managed to not fuck everything up until COVID happened. That's why your gas and shit was cheaper because of the policies from the previous 8 years. That's how.
Did you guys say that Barack Obama didn't do shit?
He didn't do anything for you. Yeah, your gas was cheaper and your food cost less. Now it costs an arm and a leg. It's going down again, but because Biden and Kamala Harris are doing what they need to do.
Right. And also
in the fucking midterms to get people in Congress to actually get shit through.
I saw a video in that Don Lemon thing. One of the folks said that, Don Lemon was like, Kamala Harris is going to hold companies accountable for price gouging, especially on groceries. And this guy, who I'm pretty sure is not a millionaire or whatever, said that he had an issue with Kamala Harris wanting to check businesses because what gives government the right to interfere with businesses who are price gouging. And I was just like, and I think I paused it and went to something else at that point because I felt my brain break. Because I'm like, bro, you are someone who was suffering from price gouging. The government has to step in, and government has always stepped in for things like this. Like, open the schools.
Yeah, why don't we just not have government at all? Why don't we just not have government at all and see how you fare?
Don't have government at all unless it comes to your reproductive rights, any types of other bodily autonomy,
your food,
religion,
your food,
what you learn in schools.
And look, I hate having to sound like this because I'm black. I don't trust the fucking government. Right? I'm an old black man.
Yeah, you should be skeptical of the government, of course.
Yes.
Black people don't trust the government. But y'all are making it real hard for me to be reasonably skeptical about certain things. When you say shit like, we didn't land on the moon, it's flat. The earth is flat, and the government was responsible for it. It's a false flag operation. And if you say false flag operation, first of all, you don't know what that means. Okay, like you're just saying shit.
Alex Jones,
right? Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Tired.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at a website that lists price gouging laws by state. Every state in the union has laws against price gouging to one degree or another. So to the question of, does the government have the right to do that? Yeah, it does.
Yes.
People, because corporations are not allowed to just treat you like you don't exist and just screw you over and over. Why do you want the government to not be able to stop corporations from screwing you over? Is your argument so stupid that you're like, inflation is ridiculous? By the way, it's actually pretty low compared to, especially to the rest of the world. But
yeah,
prices are so high, inflation is so terrible. We need to do something about that. I'm going to make sure corporations don't price gouge. Not like that. That's communism. Okay, then what would you like? Would you like the Donald Trump response, which is, quote, inflation will just go away? This is your argument. This is your guy. Again, I think you're right, Tiara. Just open the schools. Just open them up. Just open the schools.
Look, I mean, open the schools is a very generous alternative to what I really, really, really want to say, but I can't say it on camera. So I would just say open the schools.
No, open the schools, put these people in it, and then close the schools forever. Whatever happens. I don't care.
You know, if there's one government intervention I will support, it is mandatory civics education for every age group until you die.
I agree with that, actually.
You have to go to school and fulfill American civics credit, and international as well. So you gotta learn how the world works as well. And you have to take that course like every year or before every election cycle.
Yeah. Look, I don't even understand the argument. I would like to, it's my freedom to spend more money unnecessarily. Where do you live, Do you live on Earth 2? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? This shit makes no sense.
Terrence, what else did you hear in the segment? Because I know you said that a lot of them were black. They were in Chicago, and someone said
dumb shit.
Yeah, they were saying a bunch of dumb shit. One woman was like, "I rock with Trump." The other guy, he said Trump gave him them $1,600 checks, right? And Don Lemon was like, "No, he didn't." And he was like, he was like, "What?" And Don Lemon was like, "No, that was the Democrats. They did that." And Trump held them up so he could put his name on them. And the guy was like, "Oh, fuck Trump."
All right, come on, dog.
That's exactly what he said. I was like, okay. A bunch of look. Like
That's
I said
how much
on
it is to sell your fucking dignity, $1,600. That's it, yo. Like that's it.
Your
Like
life,
Sell your freedom.
your life.
Sell your freedom.
It's
As a
16.
human being.
or what did I say? They were. I'm not going to use our word. Never mind. I don't feel like being canceled. But they're political idiots. I'll say that. Like they're political idiots. Most people are, right?
Most people are.
Yeah.
Most people are.
Donkey brain.
But yeah, they just think because this guy was a millionaire or whatever he wants to call himself, he's always had money, that he knows how business works. And like things were doing pretty well in his first 2 years. Granted, he was doing all kind of wild shit, but it just you didn't feel it because it was the first 2 years. And then COVID happened.
What about the part where Donald Trump said he's going to let police officers fuck you up?
Well, they didn't hear that.
Oh, okay.
Like, they didn't hear all that.
We're going to have immunity. You think the country is bad now with police? Yo, all right.
So yeah, they don't pay attention. They just listen to what he says. You have to put things in terms that people can understand. And I think that's what the Democrats are actually finally beginning to understand.
Yes.
And I think Kamala and Walsh they're 60, but like they're not exactly old, right? Like my mother's 60 years old. She's pretty young. And they have teenage kids. They have like teenage to 20-year-old kids. So they actually love. You know what I'm saying?
What?
So I'm
so weird.
sure.
Yeah. So strange.
Is it gay to love you? I don't know.
Gay to hug your daughter? What?
To the Gen Z children.
Yeah.
So they're in the know. So they're like, nah, you gotta come on, man. Like this dude's a dickhead, and he's constantly saying wild shit. You don't have to be as much of a dickhead as he is, but you got to fight back. Yeah, you have to. Like, and you got to put layman terms, and they're starting to do that. And I think people are starting to understand. She's like, hey, I'm going to try to build 3 million homes. That's a very easy thing to understand.
Yep.
I'm going to try to stop price gouging. That's incredibly easy to understand. That's really easy.
I mean,
again,
and
I promise
it makes
I'm try to get it done.
Their
goals.
Yeah, and also like, you know, Tim Waltz calling them weird is like
perfect slogan.
Perfect.
Because they are weird.
They are
fucking
weird.
Walking around with fucking JD Vance's nut in it and fucking cups and shit. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like that's weird.
If you listen to Look Forward, do yourself a favor. Sign up to the premium.
I heard that story. I heard that story in another podcast. But it's not actually it. It's not.
No. There's nothing in it. I don't know.
Look, I don't know. It looked like they had something like yoga. Some shit.
Yeah, they think that it's really cool to make fun of people who've gone through IVF. Again, I feel like, and I cannot stress this enough. I feel like my idea, and maybe it should be on the national platform, is people need to get punched in the face, yo. Like you got to learn not to be a habitual line stepper your whole life, yo. Yeah, it's just that's a wild. It's just a shitty thing to do. It's just shitty.
Young kids, like, punch your friends in the face. Yeah. Young kids.
The Democratic National Convention is vastly different from the RNC. Like everybody seems happy. Like I feel like people are getting tired. They're just tired of just.
I mean, it's a fight. I mean, it's a fight. I mean, you're getting the Republicans are so used to just punching Democrats and Democratic voters in the face over and over and over and over again, and now Democrats and their voters are like, "Fuck that, we're swinging back." And the Republicans are like, "Oh my God, y'all can hit, y'all know how to throw punches." Like
this hurts. I don't like this.
Like y'all are calling me names. Y'all are calling us weird and saying I'm fucking couch.
I'm not weird. You're weird.
Yo, nailed it. They're clowns, yo.
I know you are, but what am I? That's what.
Right, yo. That I'm telling you, JD Vance is one day away from saying that shit.
Yeah,
I'm rubber and you're glue.
You can't get away from the weird allegations when you do weird shit. You wore tampons on your ears, yo. Who the fuck does that? That's not weird. You look like a fucking buffoon.
It's so perfect because it's something that everyone can get behind. Like even people who may be undecided don't know who the fuck that is right now. But like for people who are undecided, they can look to see what the Republicans are doing and be like, yeah, you know, that shit is kind of weird though.
Like it is.
And people want to be part of the team that they think that's winning. And right now the Democrats are having a fucking party in Chicago, and they've been partying for the last couple of nights.
Nigga,
And
my
people want to
wife
be part of
came
that.
down. My wife came downstairs last night, and she was fucking amped. Yo, like she was like, the DJ is fucking killing it. I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, I was like, she was fucking dancing and shit, waiting for Michelle Obama to speak. I was like, oh damn!
Like,
and look, you're right. When you compare
those videos,
these two conventions, oh boy, good lord! Like they had John Legend and Stevie Wonder on tonight. Those motherfuckers at the RNC had Kid Rock and Hulk Hogan.
We have Anthony Stamano Jr. Oh, holy shit! Is he?
I know who, but barely. You know what I'm saying?
He's in construction now. That's what I know.
Oh, wasn't he on 21 Jump Street? I honestly don't know.
Because Hollywood blacklisted him. I was like, Holly, you being Republican got you blacklisted? Okay, bro.
All right,
you were a little blacklisted.
Come on, Kevin Sorbo, really? Are you in God's Not Dead 3? Shut the fuck up.
I mean, and they have they have the roll call. I have never watched a roll call and been excited. Like, I'm at the dog park, like watching this. I'm like and into it, like for real, like into it on my phone. I'm like, wow.
It was brilliantly done. It really was. Because I normally hate the roll call. Like, me and Brad and Andy were talking about the roll calls is going on. Like, this is like the worst thing. Because it's always just a bunch of dorky fucking, Uber nerds. And they're like, well, California, we're here for our vote. It's like, shut up. You're not in it. Like, you're not cool. You're not in it. And then they go to Georgia. I'm like, why the fuck is Little John there? Like, you know what? Fuck it. All right, let's go.
Like to the window, to the waltz. And I'm like, yes, Tim Waltz.
But stop that. Are
you doing that on purpose? Are you doing that on purpose?
It's how black people pronounce like Costco's. It's got an S on it.
I can't say his name the way it's Waltz to me. I'm sorry.
Walls, like the thing that's this thing. Walls.
Like the one Mexico is gonna pay for. Everybody. But
pay for that.
They did not.
I would Tim Wall.
She refuses. Her brain was like, nah, don't do it. Your black brain was like, nah, don't do it.
No.
What is February 4th? What is February 14th?
It's got an M in it. It's got an M.
Valentine's.
All right. My wife refuses to say it the right way.
No,
that was very racist.
I pointed out, and she was just like, "Nope, Valentine's."
It's a time. It's a time for Saint Valentine.
For Valentin.
But
how does Kamala Harris pronounce his name? Did she say Walls? Or did she say Walls?
No, she went to college. Is Walls? She went to college.
I went to college too.
Did you pay attention? It doesn't seem like you did.
Yes.
Like, Tim, man, that's a Z.
I'm gonna call him Tim.
Yeah, Tampon Tim.
Becomes
Tampon. He need to make a shirt that says Tampon Tim. Fuck.
He should. They should sell one. They should sell one. They were like, Republicans are like, this guy's trying to help young girls out. They were like, and the
DNC.
And the funny thing is, they weren't putting them in boys' fucking bathroom. They didn't actually do that. It's just like you put them where they're needed. So they put them mostly in girls' bathrooms and in the doctor's offices. That's what they.
Also, if you're a boy, and if you live at home with the mom who still menstruates,
or a sister,
yeah,
there are tampons in your house, bro. I mean, like, why is this big?
They're weird, yo.
They're so weird.
They're fucking weird, right?
Even the women hate themselves for some reason. It's very weird. Like, if I was JD Vance's wife, I would divorce that nigga.
No, she can stay where she is.
No, she don't get to get it.
Nope. Stay where you at. No, she's the clerk for a couple of Supreme Court justices that are on the court right now. Nope, she knows. Oh, yeah. No.
Stay over there.
We need Indian representation. We have one. She's going to accept the nomination tomorrow night.
Yeah.
No,
you stay over there.
Yeah, stay. Her all of them. But you know, the DNC is so popular that they have revived Scandal, because I am totally
that's wild to have the two of them on. That's fucking hilarious. But look, I mean, at the end of the day, what is the most important thing is black people do not have to save you. This is not our job. We are not asking you to save us, because if we did, we'd be fucked.
You wouldn't show up.
You waiting for the fucking rest of our goddamn lives.
Yeah, hold your breath. Yeah, we'd fucking turn blue first. We save ourselves over and over again. We save ourselves. That doesn't mean that we don't have allies and stuff like that. Everybody needs allies, but it is not black people's job. It is not Michelle Obama's job. It is not some particular black people to save you. Now, I say all that, but I do think that part of the excitement about Kamala Harris is they're like, a black woman's going to save us, right? Like there's a bit of that, right? That's why white people are so excited for Barack Obama to show up last night and Michelle Obama.
Well, Michelle,
like,
it was a
black people. They're coming to help us, but it's not their job. It's not their job, and you certainly do not demand this of us.
Right.
But what I would say is,
right,
it's a demand. But what I would say is, cool. Everybody's excited about Kamala Harris. Great, me too.
Vote.
If she wins, and vote, and if she wins, don't you dare turn your fucking back on her before the goddamn midterms and be like, nope, I ain't gonna help. No, because when you do that, you put yourself right back on the precipice of where you are now. That doesn't mean you don't criticize and stuff like that, but use your fucking head. Politics is about using your head. It's not about going, I didn't get the thing I wanted, that's it. You think there's plenty of shit that I've wanted to happen in politics that has not happened? Of course. And then I look on the other side, and those guys are like, hey, we brought this Kotex. Can you put it on your ear? And I'm like, nope, back to the Democrats goes. Because those guys are going to give me 85% of the shit I want. And that's better than negative 10%. So this idea that both sides are the same, anybody who says both sides are the same is a politically ignorant ass person. Writ large.
My first election was George Bush and Al Gore. The Republicans literally stole that fucking election.
They did, 100%.
That was the first time I ever voted for the fucking president of the United States. If I'd have just been like, nope, I ain't voting no more, because they literally stole it. Like, it's not this Trump saying, oh, they stole the election. Them niggas stole Florida. They did.
They did.
And you have to keep going.
I'm like, well, shit, that's fucked up. But I didn't stop voting.
Right. I mean, because like, what's the alternative is to let the people who want to take your rights away and take your freedom away do it. You have to keep going. Like that's what it is. I mean, it's I don't want to say grow up, but like grow up.
Grow up. No, that's 100%.
Like, like grow. And also, I would like to say this: Kamala Harris made a campaign promise to me to give me $25,000 as a first-time home buyer. So if I do not get my $25,000 in 2025, I'm not voting in 2026. So,
all right. See, look, she's mad. She's already mad. By the way, that's a good fucking deal.
Earn me, Kamala.
Oh, shut the fuck.
Earn me.
You want my vote? Like, all right.
And again, you got to give it time. Man. You have to give it time, and you also got to vote for the rest of the fucking people that you want to put in there, so she can get her shit done. That's the most important thing. She needs time. Yeah.
Giving time is a very important aspect of it, because I remember a whole lot of people talking a whole lot of shit. Joe Biden is never going to cancel student debt. He's never going to do it. He's canceled like $170 billion worth of student debt.
And he didn't even run on that.
No, he didn't run on it.
He canceled my wife's student debt.
Yeah, that was Kamala. She pushed him to do that.
Edit that, by the way. Yeah, she was.
And medical debt is something that she came up with too.
Yeah. But remember that, like, because I remember Nina Turner was super loud about that shit, and then it's like, oh, here's $170 million or $170 billion that got canceled. Crickets.
No, it wasn't crickets. It wasn't crickets. She said, "Good, cancel all of it." Like, well,
the goalpost. The goalpost just moved. That's all it is.
I'm sorry. She sucks. Which is somehow even worse, right? But like this idea that they don't do anything. And then when they do things, you ignore it and then go see they didn't do anything.
Because
like you don't, because it didn't affect you directly.
Yeah,
I heard this
it's a very conservative way of looking at the world, by the way. It's a very conservative way.
These people like losing. They like losing because they like to complain. And if they can complain on television and write and sell a book, they benefit. But these people don't actually want to win. They don't want to win. And my thing is, if you don't want, just sit down and shut up, because we
hype the fuck down.
Yeah. But these people are actually losers. It's why this progressive group, I guess, disowned AOC because she spoke of the DNC or whatever. I'm like, she's a Democrat.
She's a Democrat. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense.
She was like,
"Did you do the same thing to Bernie? Because he spoke last night, so he's not a Democrat."
Think about it.
He said the same shit he's always said, and his message is good. Like, hey, look, we have to get a ceasefire. We have to get Medicaid for all. Or he's the same message been given for the last 25 years, right? But yeah, we should still work for it. But if you get the person that doesn't give a fuck about any of that, none of that matters.
And we'll make it worse. And we'll actively make it worse because cruelty is the point.
Right. Again,
and going back to like making sure that Donald Trump is an active part of this conversation. I don't think people are taking him seriously when he says all this crazy shit. I know he's not. He is a lunatic, but I think he means everything he says, and people just don't take it seriously because at the end of the day, they don't think it's going to quote unquote be that bad or really impact them. And also, they assume that they'll have a future or the freedom to just elect someone else in 4 more years. You won't have that. You actually have to vote as if you won't have the right to vote again if he's in office, because you likely won't.
Like, people really. So there's something called the hot hand theory, right? Like, you guys watch sports, you probably know this analogy, which is like you watch a basketball game and a person, like a Michael Jordan or whatever, gets 2 shots in a row, right? Like 2 3-pointers in a row, whatever. And people make the assumption that the third time he shoots, he's going to get another 3-pointer. That's a terrible assumption because that's not how the world works. Like, you don't get, the ball doesn't catch on fire. This is not NBA Jam. Like, it doesn't work like that. So people make this assumption that the world is going to continue to be the way it is just because it is, until it isn't. And then you're like, we've made a grave mistake. Well, then it's too fucking late. Like, it's too late. Yeah. You think that if Donald Trump gets in office, he's going to have a regular election that he could lose in?
No.
Fuck no, dude. Fuck no. Listen, J.D. Vance, his vice presidential nominee, is very much influenced by this one guy. His name is like, it's like Yarvin something, but he goes by, it's really fucking weird, but he goes by this other, his pseudonym name is like Mencius Moldbug, right? Which is, I think it's like a weird Lord of the Rings type nerdy shit. These are real people, right? These are real fucking people, right? This guy is like a guy he legitimately listens to, right? Like he takes a lot of his sort of cues from Mencius Moldbug. That guy is... I'm serious. I'll try to find his real name. Like, it's really weird. But he actually advocates for, and J.D. Vance has said this, by the way, it's on the record. J.D. Vance has said that we are in a post-Republic era, right? He doesn't mean Republican as far as like the Republican Party. He means it with a small r, right? He means the end of the Republic. That guy is advocating for a monarchy in the United States because that's what he thinks is what could get the country in the right positions, right? Moving forward.
His name is Curtis Yarvin.
Curtis Yarvin. See, but you looked it up. Mencius Moldbug. He looks exactly what you would think he looks like. He looks dirty. Looks like
his name is Mencius Moldbug.
Yeah, he looks like he hasn't taken a shower in a week. I can smell him through my screen. So, like, that guy advocates for some of the most horrendous shit you've ever heard. Peter Thiel is another guy who helped catapult J.D. Vance's entire career, right? He's gotten him all his fucking internships and jobs and all this other shit. He's the one who got him, gave him $15 million to run for Congress. He's the one who pushed him to be Trump's VP and all this other shit. These guys are his influence. That guy, Peter Thiel, amongst many other things, right? He's the guy who backed Hulk Hogan to kill Gawker, if you remember that back a couple of years ago. He's the guy who wants to build or tried to build his libertarian fucking paradise in the water, and it fucking completely blew up in his face, right? These guys don't believe in democracy. These guys want a dictatorship. They want to be able to do whatever the fuck they want to do. They have no interest in the type of country that you live in. When you think that these guys are just happenstance, regular Joe Republicans that maybe, you can benefit from, you cannot. These guys are lunatics. They are obsessed with birth rates and shit like that. They're fucking crazy. And it's not just that they're weird. They're way worse than that. And people go, everything is going to be the same as it always has been. No, the fuck it will not if you get these guys in. It will not.
Here's a quick view on, take on Yarvin's views about race. Yarvin has alleged that whites have higher IQs than blacks for genetic reasons. He has been described as a modern-day supporter of slavery and a description he disputes. He has claimed that some races are more suited to slavery than others.
Cool. Okay. This is the guy who's the intellectual that J.D. Vance goes to, that he listens to.
Okay.
Go read this guy's Wikipedia. It's right there. He's fucking insane.
I just have to remember that this is going to be on YouTube, and I can't say everything I want to say, but just know I'm feeling it.
Yeah. So look, if you're conservative and you're like, I think J.D. Vance is pretty good. Cool. Defend what that guy is. Defend it.
They probably would, because they're a bunch of fucking racists anyway. If you're a MAGA, you're a racist and a coon. Like, if you're black and you're a MAGA, you're a coon, and you're also a racist piece of shit. There's no black and white. I mean, like, you're a coon.
Good night, everybody.
If you think this doesn't affect you, because I know some white folks, folks who are like, should we be stooping down to the level? And I'm like, explain to me what stooping down to that level looks like, because calling them weird, if you think calling them weird and telling the truth about them is stooping down to that level, then you are part of the problem. You might as well just vote for them.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Cool. Like,
that's hilarious.
Don't vote. Again, we keep doing these. We doing this cyclical shit. Obama came in. You overcorrected with Trump. We got Trump out of there, and then you want to put him back in? Like,
but he gave me $1,600 though. He gave me $1,600.
Like, if you had like 12 years of Democrats, I feel like you'd be far better off than you are now.
100%.
Yep.
Keep fixing shit every time Republicans came in, blow shit up. That's the problem. They literally every single time Republicans come in, they fuck your whole economy up.
Yeah, if the Democrats spend the first 4 years of their entire time fixing all the shit. And why is it already fixed? Sorry.
And when it comes to just black women in particular, you don't necessarily need to quote unquote thank black women by saying thank you black women for saving us. You know what you can do? You can actually do your part in society and vote the right way the first time, so that way you don't have to look to Michelle Obama to be your avatar or your savior when she gives a really good speech, and then say shit like, if she ran for president, she would get all the votes. No, you're missing the point. The point is for you to get your people in line to vote for Democrats and for actual progress the first time, so we don't have to be here.
Yeah, and quiet as kept. There are more of us than there are of them. There just is.
There absolutely is. There absolutely is.
Oh, that's the problem. Like, you just sit. Oh,
Oprah is talking. Oprah is speaking, and she looks amazing. And people are like clapping. And I just saw old black ladies like waving around the USA stuff. They love Oprah.
Are they waving their mass deportations now signs? Like they were at the RNC? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's so wild, yo. It's so wild to see
the
people
disconnect
claim they claim to care about the country, but don't give a fuck about the people in it. Like, it's so amazing to me.
By the way, you think mass deportation is going to help America? Who you think going to do it? You going to do it? You going to go out there and pick watermelons all day? You first.
And they want to end birthright citizenship. That's like, for, not for the white folks who come over here and give birth, but for literally everybody else.
That's different. That's different.
Yeah, that's different.
Birthright citizenship, ending that is absolutely fucking bananas. Like, that doesn't even...
And believe them when they say they will do that.
They will try. They will absolutely try. I mean, Yarvin, Mr. Moldbug, says, quote, the country needs a national CEO or what's called a dictator to debug the American political order like a computer programmer debugging some bad code. And he says, quote, I think Trump is going to run again in 2024, and I think that's what Trump should do. And if I'm giving him one piece of advice, fire every single mid-level bureaucrat, every civil servant in the administrative state, replace them with our people.
What does that even mean?
That is firing all of these government employees and replacing them with loyalists, which is exactly the plan that he tried to implement when he was president. And Joe Biden was like, since I won, get the fuck out of here. We're not doing that. And by the way, that's a big part of Project 2025. It's one of the first things they're going to do. So again, don't worry. None of it's connected, guys. None of it's connected. It's not connected.
And everything's
because
just
Donald Trump isn't wearing a
Project
2025 shirt and hat. You dumb idiots.
No, but don't worry, because we'll have normal elections in 2028.
Read.
I hate I hate people sometimes. I really do.
Yo, it's just like, it's insanity to me, yo. These niggas they are on Front Street telling you, we are going to oppress you. We are going to do terrible things to you. And people are like, yeah, but that's $1,600, yo. Like, this is all you needed?
But Kamala Harris and Joe Biden didn't stop the genocide like today. Because so I'm just going to let, Project 2025 happen to all of you Negroes who aren't supporting. Even though you are supporting by voting for the person that, who did not say, I'm going to let Netanyahu finish a job.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, here's that quote from Jared Kushner. Gaza's waterfront property could be very valuable if people would focus on building up livelihoods. All the money. You could just get all the money. It's a little bit of an unfortunate situation there. Just a little bit. But from Israel's perspective, I would do my best to move people out and then clean it up.
Wow.
Yo, these are outright scumbags, though.
Yo, that's
they say the shit to your face, because if they flood the zone with shit, then people just go, well, that's just, they just saying it, so can't be that bad. They just saying the shit out loud. Are you listening to what they're saying? This shit is not like, they're not using pig Latin money. He's just telling you.
Quick question before we go, because we went on for a while. We went on wild tangents. What the fuck do we owe Israel? Why do we give them money so much? Please explain this to me, because I just don't understand the fucking relationship we have. Do you really want me to explain it? Because you're going to get yourself in trouble.
I'm going to get myself in trouble with
the
people.
The real you about to come out?
I would never say that. No. The honest to God real reason is look. The real reason is because right. It's because it is religion. That's the real answer, right? I was just saying that because I'm an atheist. The real reason is because there are tons of Christians. 70% or 60% of the U.S. are Christian. And a lot of, especially evangelical Christians who are extremely powerful in government or have a lot of control in government, believe in the fucking end times. And when God comes back or Jesus comes back and it's going to be a big old fucking war between good and evil and all that other shit, the shit takes place over there. And so they believe.
What you're saying is they don't do shit for us, and we just give them a whole bunch of money.
I wouldn't say that. I would say that we see them as
we have like a very foothold in that fucking.
That is the one thing that they give us. But in all honesty, our undying support for Israel, and by the way, I'm not talking about Jewish people. I'm just talking about the government of Israel, has a lot to do with manipulating the what I would argue is the collective insanity of thinking that this holy war is going to happen over there. So people think, because of that, they think, well, we got to protect these people because that's what the Bible says and blah, blah, blah. That's a big part of it. It is. And yes, we get a strategic foothold in the region, but that's the reason. Because from a strategic aspect, from just militarily, why the fuck would we saddle the United States to the one Jewish state in the Muslim country that a bunch of countries want to eliminate. Why the fuck would we just perpetually on the precipice of war? It makes no sense. Except for it's irrational because religion. That's it. And that has nothing to do with just regular people who live over there who just live in their lives. They're like, cool. Like, could you not think that we're all going to die and be like 4,000 of us or whatever go to heaven and become Christians or whatever nonsense you believe? But that is what people believe. That's why Sheldon Adelson and all those other guys take advantage of it. Oh, cool. You want to fucking send money over to my, my brethren? Great. Oh, you believe in all that crazy shit? Cool. I don't. I don't give a fuck.
Right. So I wasn't bugging.
No, it's absolutely religion.
Outside.
Undying support? Why? Why? I'm undying support for anybody else.
What the fuck is why?
But that's fine.
Again, like
you cannot even say a negative thing about Israel, the country, without getting pushback that you're an anti-Semite. Even if you're Jewish. They called Jon Stewart an anti-Semite. I'm like, John Leibowitz on The Daily Show? They're like, yeah, this guy's an anti-Semite. Because he criticized Benjamin Netanyahu.
Good Lord.
It's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's just weaponized religious nonsense. In my opinion.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, it has to be just about religious. That's what the whole war is about.
Yes.
Your religion is okay. All right. Again, I don't understand.
This is Micah's fault. Micah, explain all of this. Explain the Gaza war. Give us all the details. It's in the book. Like, I ain't read that. Micah's like, they didn't cover that on my internet connected church I go to once every 9 Sundays.
Yeah, we haven't been there in a while.
They didn't mention that in the telecast.
Your young governor Wes Moore is now speaking, and people are going crazy in the crowds.
Yeah, that guy's got a good chance of being a big deal in a couple of years. He's a good governor, turns out. Yeah, he is. All right, so that is it for us. The Kitchen next week. Please read. Just please go read and vote properly.
No, you have the most powerful computer in your hand at all times.
You do.
But check your sources. Go to .edu. .edu.
Yeah.
Just
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah. That is true.
Yeah, if it's .flat Earth, that's not the right source.
But some nigga on TikTok talking about how can you possibly recall a chicken?
You know what? Actually, you know what? PBS is free. I feel very old saying this, but PBS is a streaming service and it's free. You do not have to pay for it. At least unless Trump gets in office, then PBS is gone.
Yeah. Knock that off. Free.
But please go to PBS and go to your library. Go to your library, not your library. Your library.
Go get the library card.
Get your library card on Valentine's Day. Tim Waltz will be very proud of you, and then you can go get a chicken from Costco.
Download Libby, the free Audible for library books. Just libraries are free.
Like 3 months to get a book, but it's cool.
Shit's free though. Yeah,
it's out there. Just go and challenge your thinking.
Yeah,
please.
Look, just go find a Ken Burns documentary on anything. It's like 12 hours. You will learn stuff. And but that's knowledge is an incredibly powerful thing. Knowledge is power is a an old adage, obviously. But like it is though, like it really is. It's very helpful, yo. Just read. Just read.
It's easier
like
than it ever has been.
Yo, they sent niggas to the moon with less power than you have in your pocket. Quite literally, yo. You can do more.
So they ain't go there for fake. They ain't never been.
They never went. No,
they ain't never went.
It was a false flag operation.
False flag operation. That's fucking he's not wrong. Don't believe in the moon landing, guys. Come on, that's crazy. Yeah. So I look forward to people. I hope people are smart this go around. It seems like a lot of people are waking up, but it also seems like there's a lot of people just, I don't know if they're just saying dumb shit because they want to seem interesting or contrarian or what.
Or they're getting paid. Some of them I think are probably just getting paid.
Some of them, but I think some people are just like free. They're dumb for free, which is sad. Like if you're dumb for cash, I get it. Like, this economy is rough, but like being dumb for free is crazy. Like you can read, yo. Like if you think the Democrats are worse on the economy than Republicans, then I would just ask you to just look at like the GDP and the national debt across presidencies. You can just look the data up, yo. Like it's not hidden information. You can just read the shit. Like it's not.
Black people don't need to do the work for you.
No. Unless you just listen to this and you're white and you're like, wow, that was really helpful for Black people, then you're welcome.
Or even if you're another person of color, because y'all them people too.
Them people too. All right. You know what? Good night, everybody. Jeez. You're really tearing the shit up. You're just destroying the good man's English. All right. We'll see you guys next week for the kitchen.
See you.
See you.
Bye.
You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of Black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the Black community.